So, what governs digestion? Hopefully this is something that you have back there somewhere in your brain from studying biomedicine. We know that digestion is primarily governed by the brain of the gut, also known as the enteric nervous system. Remember, the term enteric means intestines. It's a really useful point to remember. And the enteric nervous system contains more neurons, more nerve cells than what we find in the spinal cord. So this is an incredibly important set of nerves. The enteric nervous system, or the brain of the gut as we call it, extends all the way down from the mouth to the anus. So it's an extensive network of nerves, of neurons. And the enteric nervous system is split up into two main plexi. What we mean by a plexus is a sort of a network of nerves, a network of neurons. We have the submucosal plexus and the myenteric plexus. Now we name these based on the location of them within the wall of that digestive tube, but we also name them, particularly the myenteric plexus. We name this one based on what it's actually doing, because myo means muscle, enteric means intestines. This is about peristalsis. Whereas the submucosal plexus is more directing you towards the fact that it is just below that mucosal layer within the digestive tract. So we've got the myenteric plexus, which is important for peristalsis. You can see that here, that's where it's embedded within those layers, quite far out actually in that digestive tube. And then we've got the submucosal plexus, which sits somewhere in the middle of the wall of the digestive tube. And that's really involved in digestive secretions. Always think M for motility, meaning sort of an involuntary movement, and S for secretions. So the myenteric plexus gets everything physically moving. The submucosal plexus releases or stimulates the release of your digestive juices, like your stomach acid, like pancreatic juices, and so on. So the enteric nervous system functions independently, but it is itself overridden by the autonomic nervous system. It's a little bit like what happens with the heart, where it kind of has its own basic rhythm, it has its own basic thing going on. But then if we're stressed and the sympathetic nervous system becomes overactive, then our heart rate goes up, our blood pressure goes up, and so on. It's exactly the same with digestion. The only real difference is that a stress response or a sympathetic response slows down everything in this system. It doesn't speed things up, it doesn't promote things, it actually impairs them. It decreases the release of digestive secretions. It decreases the peristaltic mechanism that we get in the digestive tract. So when we're in a stressed state, digestion is impaired and hence absorption is impaired. But also the ability to eliminate waste can become impaired. If we think about it, a lot of people that are stressed over prolonged periods also suffer from poor bowel motions. They normally are constipated, if anything. We've then got the parasympathetic nervous system kicking in when we're in that sort of rest, relaxation state, and that's called the rest and digest response. You know, this is where we're calm and we now start kicking in the digestive functions. Now remember, as we'll be talking about in just a second actually, the vagus nerve is the main nerve in the parasympathetic nervous system. That's what really drives this whole mechanism here from a neurological point of view anyway. This is what drives that whole mechanism of activity within the digestive tract.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe below so you don't miss any future content. To learn more about CNM or its courses, head to www.naturopathy-uk.com.